at it again, and we have one with Michael Knowles today. It's been a while since we checked out one with Michael Knowles. I can't even tell you the last time we checked out a video with Michael Knowles. But anyway, like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Thank you for all of the love and support, too. With that being said, let's dive in.
Everybody knows a quote, what LBJ said. He's all like, oh, we'll have these N-words voting for such and such years or whatever. And after I said that, she just said, oh, disregard that. They're still for the black people or whatever. They're still for us or whatever. So basically what my question is how are we going to get the truth out there? How are we going to make sure that everybody's like staying in line with the truth? How are we going to make sure that the information that everybody's getting is veritable and fact checked? Because we have people out here that don't necessarily follow the facts. They don't necessarily believe and things based on reality. So how are we going to get that going?
He's right. And he started off the conversation touching on it because he said he mentioned the LBJ quote and someone said, oh, no, just ignore that. Just ignore that. Just ignore that. Wait, so we're just ignoring facts? In all honesty, before this journey began, I had no clue about that quote. Zero. No one's ever told me about it. I don't even ever remember it being mentioned. Why is that? You know, certain things with individuals are like put out into the light and always brought up continuously. I don't need to bring up examples of that. We all can name plenty of examples of that right now. But then you have situations like LBJ, who it almost seems like that situation is like erased from history. I mean, even if you want to talk about Joe in some of his quotes that he's had in the past, why isn't that put all over the news? Why isn't that plastered everywhere? He said it. We did that with the orange man. Why don't we do that with Joe or LBJ or anybody else? Kind of weird, huh? Interesting. But anyway, let's continue on.
And things based on reality. So how are we going to get that going?
The key is dispelling this leftist premise that conservatives hate black people and brown people and Hispanic people and every kind of people other than like Mitt Romney, basically. Other, you know, like just the whitest imaginable guy. You have to dispel that first, because I'm sure you were making many eloquent arguments about how leftist policies have really wreaked havoc in the black community. And Thomas Sowell has written extensively on this topic. Thomas Sowell, one of the greats of modern times. And he's written extensively about how until those massive welfare programs of the 60s and 70s, until then, in the black community, murder rates were going down, crime rates were going down, out-of-wedlock birth was going down, divorce was going down, poverty was going down. And then, as if all of a sudden during that cultural revolution of the 60s, all the trend lines reversed. And so what the left would say is, forget about all of that. The leftists.
It's always, forget about that. It's the R word. It's because this country is horrible, terrible, and it's no good and very bad. Well, just before all of that happened, the trend line was doing this, which was good. Immediately after that, it started doing this. What happened during that shift? I think that's important to highlight, but time and time again, you get people that just completely gloss over it and ignore it and point to something that happened way back. And I'm like, wait, yes. What were there terrible conditions for black people? Absolutely. Were some black people enslaved back then? Absolutely. But even with that being said, the trend numbers were going down. Why are we pointing to something back here when the trend line was tanking? I don't know. Like, sometimes it's frustrating to even like think about some of this stuff because I think it's so obvious. It's so obvious and simple. Even for me, who, like I said before, has just begun this journey. Which, by the way, make sure you following me on all social media accounts: Instagram, Twitter, Truth Social. What else? Locals, Rumble. There's one other one too. What's the other one? I am on Bastion as well. All right, The Real Doc Rich across all social medias except for Rumble. I think it's just Doc Rich. So either Doc Rich or The Real Doc Rich across all those social media sites. All right, make sure you guys are following me on all of those. But like I was saying, it's really frustrating, even as somebody who is new to this journey. Like, I can see like what actually caused all of this chaos. And it wasn't slavery. Slavery was bad. We get that. But black people were building something. Like he said, crime was going down. All of these statistics were going down in a good way. And then it flipped. And that's where we need to look at, that window where it flipped. But I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think.
So what the left would say is, forget about all of that. We, the leftists, like black people, and those mean conservatives hate you because of the color of your skin. And that's an argument based on identity, but it's a very strong argument. You know, I mean, if I really were to believe that some group of people hated my guts, then it wouldn't matter too much how much they lowered my taxes or fixed some problems in my neighborhoods, because I don't want to elect people who hate me. Now, the reality, of course, is that conservatives do not hate black people or anybody else. There's no, and you could make an argument for racial prejudices on the left. What Mr. Gerson referred to as the soft bigotry of low expectations.
Yep.
To say we will never expect certain social standards from you because you're just not capable of it on the basis of your skin. And that's a horrifically bigoted point of view, and it's one that the left holds. I think you've got to make...
And obviously I've touched on that plenty of times, so I don't need to harp on that again right now. Let's continue.
The argument first that the left holds. I think you've got to make the argument first from compassion, from dispelling this myth that the left is compassionate. It's not. There's nothing compassionate about getting people stuck in generational webs of government dependence, living in absolute abject misery and squalor, and hooked on welfare payments, and hooked in bad schools that they're not allowed to break out of. I mean, even just on that one issue of school choice, for so many people, getting into a good school can radically change your life outcomes. It is the best shot you have of getting out of poverty and of having not only a materially prosperous life, but a spiritually and culturally prosperous life too. And you have the left, especially in inner cities, saying we're going to lock you and trap you in failing schools where you'll learn nothing and you'll very likely join a gang. And you have conservatives going out there and saying, we need school choice, we need to encourage vouchers, we need to encourage charter schools to at least give you a chance. And what does the left do? They say, that's cruel, that's racist, that's bigoted. You've got to break that
That's
first.
crazy.
There's nothing compassionate.
What is the argument against that? I'm sitting here thinking as I'm talking, and I'm like, wait, how could you even make an argument against that and say that that's the R word? How? You're giving people a choice. How is that? I'm confused. Somebody let me know what the exact argument is on that, or if there's a video of someone arguing against that. Let me know in the comment section or DM it to me via all of the social media accounts I mentioned earlier. But yeah, I would love to hear somebody argue that. Interesting. Anyway, let's continue.
About trapping somebody in a cycle of poverty because you don't think that they can accomplish anything. And there's nothing worse that you can do for a young person than to say, hey, you'll never accomplish anything because the whole world's out to get you. And there's a patriarchy and there are these structures. You can't do anything, so just sit down and shut up. There's nothing worse that you can tell a young person. And if you can show people how cruel that is, then I think only at that point can you start making arguments based on policies, based on all of those data over the years. And then we win. Yeah, great question.
Great question and great answer. Great answer. Obviously, I've touched on, a lot of the stuff that he was talking about there. So, yeah, 100% agree. But, yeah, like I said, 100% correct in just the overall discouraging young folks from even trying. I think I touched on this in a video yesterday. I mean, it's just absolutely positively ridiculous telling someone that the system is out to get them and they'll never become anything because of this or that, and the soft bigotry of low expectations. Oh, because I'm black, I can never achieve anything because because I'm black, I need to be coddled and held and guided throughout life. Like, what makes you think that I need to be in that position? Because of the color of my skin? Interesting. So simply because of the color of my skin, I need my hand to be held throughout life. Interesting. So now I know what you think of me. You know what I mean? But also, like I was saying, let me know in the comment section, what's the argument against school choice? Really. I mean, I think it's a fantastic idea, giving people the option. So, like, why would that be bad? I don't understand. I don't get it, but I'm sure there's some type of argument, obviously, if people are against it. So, yeah. Let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Shout out to that young man there for honestly asking a fantastic question, and it's amazing to see, because that was another college campus. That was Florida University. So shout out to that gentleman there, because obviously, as we've seen in previous videos on college campuses, some of these students, I mean, they're in trouble. They're in some serious trouble. They're in a whole pile of poop, for lack of a better word. Their brains are mush, it seems like. Lights on, but nobody's home. All right. His lights are on and somebody's home for sure. All right. That is absolutely that's the absolute truth. So that was also amazing to see. Not all college students are brainwashed zombies, right? So that was great to see, and I wanted to acknowledge that as well. But like I said, like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Thank you for all of the love and support. Peace and love. I'm out.